Hello everybody, Jake here and welcome to the hobby. We had another exciting news-filled week in the world of Pokemon cards, so I definitely want to cover you guys on all the recent happenings in the news. We have another Pokemon card set coming out after Darkness Ablaze and after Champion's Path. This is Vivid Voltage, our final Pokemon card set for the year, set to be released in November. We know very little about the set so far, but there is some new interesting products that's going to be coming out with the set that I think is definitely worth to talk about. As well, we have another Pokemon card grading company that's entering the ring. Currently, there are two major Pokemon card grading company, that being Beckett BGS and well-known PSA. And I think it's definitely fine if we have another competitor, someone that can give us competitive prices for Pokemon card grading and a much more smooth turnaround time. And if you've ever heard of CGC grading, then this is gonna knock your socks off, because CGC grading does a lot of comic books grading and they're very reputable. And now they're moving into the world of Pokemon card grading. They're gonna be a very competitive service, and I think it's gonna be a great thing for the hobby in general to have another option for Pokemon card grading. As well, there's been a ton of new collectors in the hobby. The hobby's never been growing as fast as it is right now. I think there's just so many collectors that have joined the hobby over the last couple of years, and this is mainly due to just a lot more adults being interested in Pokemon card collecting and taking it more seriously is what I think. But I get a lot of frequently asked questions, and I think now is a great time to tackle these questions. I think you guys will really love these because they are very heavily weighted questions that are not easy to answer, but everyone asks them. And these are things like, Jake, should I get my Pokemon cards graded? And they don't tell me what Pokemon cards they're talking about, so it's not gonna be an easy answer. Or something like, Jake, what is the best Pokemon card to collect? We're definitely going to tackle that question as well, because that's not going to be an easy question to answer at all. And some other really hard questions that I always get is, do I think Pokemon cards are going to go up in value in 10 to 15 years? And where do I buy and sell my Pokemon cards? So tons of interesting questions. I'm going to tackle all these frequently asked questions with you guys, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get right into it. First bit of news is that we are going to have another Pokemon card set after Darkness Ablaze, which will be released in about 2 weeks, and then after Champion's Path, which is being released in September. This is our final Pokemon card set for the year, and this is normal. It happens every year. It's literally a rotating cycle. We always have a set in November. This set is called Vivid Voltage, and we know very little about it so far, besides that it's pretty much going to be lightning and electric theme for a lot of its Pokemons. Some cards that I definitely imagine going to be in the set would be Pikachu V Max, as that is probably going to be the front and center Pokemon for the set. I think Pikachu V Max will very likely be on the Elite Trainer box, and I'm really interested to see what else they put inside there. I think Bolton V Max would be a really cool card to see in the set. But the really interesting part about this set is we're getting a new product, and I'm pretty much going to dub this one a Elite Trainer Box Plus or a Super Elite Trainer Box, because a normal Elite Trainer Box comes with 8 packs, 1 pack of sleeves, 1 set of dice, and this new Super Elite Trainer Box or Elite Trainer Box Plus will contain 16 packs, which is double the amount of packs, 2 packs of sleeves, which is double the amount of sleeves, 2 sets of dices, and 2 promo cards. So it's pretty much a doubling of everything, including promo cards, which is something I've been asking about for a long time to be in Elite Trainer boxes. It just gives them something more interesting than what they currently offer, which is really only the packs is what people are after. But yeah, this is going to be a Super Elite Trainer box, bigger, twice as many packs, twice as many everything, and it comes with promo cards. The price is also twice the price. A normal Elite Trainer box is $40, and this new Super Elite Trainer box is going to be $80, which is twice the price, but it comes with promos. So in terms of a value deal, it's a win-win for both the collector and the Pokemon company, because the collector gets more value and the Pokemon company is offering a new valuable product that they can make a lot of money on. I'm not too sure what they're thinking though with this product, because they're still keeping the Elite Trainer box. Elite Trainer boxes are still going to be a thing. This is just an additional product. So they're adding a new Super Elite Trainer box, and I feel like they're competing with themselves almost, because if you buy the Super Elite Trainer box, are you still going to buy the regular Elite Trainer box? So more to know going out into November, but it's going to be interesting to see what the promos are inside of this Super Elite Trainer box. It might just be 2 regular holos, or it might be 2 V Maxes or 2 GX or some other interesting unique promo cards. So it could be really exciting or pretty lackluster. More to come in the upcoming months. Next bit of news is that CGC Grading, a well-known comic book grading company, is getting into trading card grading with their own divisions for trading card grading, and they're going to be pretty darn competitive. PSA has had a massive market share of Pokemon cards for a long time. When you talk about Pokemon card grading, they're pretty much synonymous with PSA grading. And that's interesting because Pokemon card grading is only a very small portion of PSA. Pokemon card grading is such a small portion of PSA's authentication and grading that I don't think they really pay a lot of attention to the market. They don't really grasp how great of a system they could have. Like, Pokemon card collectors should love PSA and enjoy using their service, but I don't think we're there. I think there's a lot of discontent with using other grading services like PSA or Beckett. So I think having more competition, more options to where you grade your cards is a net positive. It's totally going to be better for the hobby to have another options on where you can get your Pokemon card graded. Overall, their case and their design for how their grading system works, I think it's a really cool case. I think it's a very new age. I think it's a very aesthetically pleasing. Out of the 3 cases, I think I like CGC the most out of all 3. I think it's the most appealing to display. Some of the issues I have with PSA is I feel like it's kind of lackluster on the terms of information. Most people don't really know how PSA's card grading system works, and that's totally on their end for being so ambiguous on how they grade their cards. Beckett is very different. They're very specific on how they grade their cards, and they're totally reputable. I got nothing against BGS. I think they're totally cool, but I feel like the design for the case is a little bit too uninteresting. It's a little bit too dated, I think, is the design, and I do think CGC addresses that by having a more sleek case. Some interesting thing about CGC grading is that they're going to charge $8 a card for bulk, which is much cheaper as a service for grading than both Beckett or PSA. So they are being very competitive. They're willing to drop their prices and really take a chunk out of the card grading market. They have also a very fast turnaround. I have not sent my cards into them yet, but I definitely think I will do that in the future just to test the water and see how it really goes and get a better idea if I think that they would be good card grading services for you guys. But currently they're offering a very fast turnaround time, as fast as a month on some cases, which is way better than currently PSA. I sent in cards to PSA literally in May, and they've just been received. They haven't even started grading my cards. It's August. It's been like 2.5 months. I don't expect my cards back this year. That's how slow the services at PSA is right now. It's going to take about 6 to 8 months to get your cards graded through their economy services, which a lot of people complain about still. They're saying, like, you know, Jake, $20 to grade a Pokemon card is too expensive, and I feel you. So yeah, $8 a card for bulk with CGC, very fast turnaround time. They also offer subgrades for criterias like centering, corners, edges, surfaces, so they tell you exactly what grade that each of those individual categories get on your card. So they're much more transparent about why your card is getting the grade it's getting, which is something that I wish PSA did as well. They also grade some interesting cards that you do not see other services offering. They grade error cards. These are cards with misprints, major errors, design flaws, anything like that. CGC is willing to grade. They also offer an interesting idea called the pedigree of the card, which pretty much means it's the history of the card. Was this card owned by a different collector? How did you get this card? Was it traded down the line? Knowing this information is really important for a lot of collectors because that's how you decide if a card is legitimate or not, is saying, hey, I purchased this from a player. That player won it in Worlds. They won it in 2018. So having pedigree is very important for a lot of collectors. And I think overall, this is a net plus. I can't wait to start using their services, and I will definitely tell you guys how it goes. All right, everybody, now we're on to some of the frequently viewer asked questions that I always seem to get. And I think these questions are so weighted that I can't really answer them easily. So definitely worth having a frequently asked questions section. And I think these are great for pretty much every collector. And these are really just my opinion. I am not an expert on anything. I'm just another collector like you guys. So the first question that everyone asks is, what should you be collecting? What is the best cards to collect? And this question is not easy to answer because there's a lot of different way that you can say what's the best card. Do you mean the most value for your dollar? Do you mean the most expensive, the most rare? It's difficult to say what's best. What I would like to say is collect what you enjoy. Always go with what you enjoy. Don't think too much about what the other stuff. You know, the other stuff comes later. The most important thing is, as a collector, is you got to enjoy your collection. So sometimes I collect cards that I know for sure won't go up in value in 5 years or 10 years, but I have it in my collection because I like the art, I like the card, or I like the story behind the card. There's some reason why I'm willing to collect that card no matter what. And it doesn't matter to me the value of the card. What I care about more is that I enjoy the card and I want it in my collection. That's really all it takes when it comes down to collecting what's best. If you want something rare, there's plenty of rare cards that are still cheap. You can definitely dig around and find trophy cards from 2009, 2010, like the victory medal cards, which are, I would say, are like pseudo trophy cards. They're not full-on trophy cards because they weren't won in a world championship, but someone still won victory medal cards, and they're literally selling for under $100. So if you want some nice trophy cards, they're still available. If you want nice artwork, that can come with Instinct. Some of the cards that have recently risen in value would be the Screen promos and Shibuya Pikachu. Shibuya Pikachu has been doing really well over the last couple of months. And the reason for these is because they're immaculate artwork. They're just great quality cards. You just don't see cards like that very often. As you become a more experienced collector, you're gonna get instinct. You're gonna look at a card and be able to go, that card's a hit. And that just comes from your own background knowledge in the hobby. I work a lot instinctually. I do have math and data to back up sometimes what I collect in, but at the same time, sometimes I just go by taste. I look at a card, I think it's beautiful, I think it's enjoyable, I think other people are gonna enjoy it, and I go in on those cards. So sometimes you just gotta develop your own instinct for what's best, but really collect what you enjoy, and that's the most important thing. Next viewer question that I always get is, Jake, should I get my Pokemon cards graded? And if I do, what services should I use? And this is also a very weighted question, but I'm gonna try my best to answer it. In general, if you've never graded Pokemon cards before, I would start sending in maybe 5 cards. You know, don't go crazy with it. Just try it and see how you like the system. In general, the cards that you should be getting graded for your first time, don't go too crazy with them. They should be cards that are worth $50 to $100, maybe a little bit over $100. Those are cards that I would say are well in the range of value that you should be sending in to get graded. Now you have cards that are worth, you know, $2, $5, $10. Those are probably not worth it to get graded right now. There's nothing wrong with holding them down the line. Chances are your cards are not going to degrade in terms of conditions over time if you're keeping them well stowed away. There are cards that are immaculate after, you know, 20 plus years of not being inside of a case. So you don't need a case unless you really, really want to have the card graded. Usually the cards that I get graded are cards that I think are well mint. There are very few cards that I would grade that aren't mint, and these are cards that are so rare that I just want them graded. I just want them authenticated and graded. I don't care about the condition, because that card is so rare, it doesn't matter what condition it is. But in most cases, I look at the condition. If I think a card is going to be gem mint or mint, so anywhere from a PSA 8 to a 10 would be within the range of cards that I would like to get graded. These are cards that are $50 to $100 worth in value at the very least. And these are cards that I think would increase in value or gain value from having me grade them. These are cards that are worth $50 ungraded, but if I get them graded, they're worth $100 to $150. So I gain value in my collections by getting cards graded. So those are the options. Usually the cards that I grade are cards that are available in PSA 10 or Gem Mint, but I don't want to purchase it Gem Mint because it's too expensive, and I can gain value and cut costs by getting my own cards graded. Those are the things that I look for when I ask what cards am I getting graded. The next big question that everyone asks is, do I think Pokemon cards are going to hold their value or increase in value in the next 10 to 15 years? And of course, I'm going to be biased because I'm a Pokemon card collector as well. But I try to look at it from a neutral point of view if I can. What I can say is Pokemon is an extremely strong brand, and they're doing very well. I think Pokemon is doing everything right. What they're doing is they're introducing the brand to the next generation. A lot of kids, in fact, most kids from the ages of 5 to 10 knows what Pokemon is. They know what Pikachu is. They know what Charizard is. They play the Pokemon card game, or they play the video game. They play it on their apps. There's all kinds of stuff that the Pokemon company is doing to introduce the brand to the next generation, and I think it's going to continue for quite a while. All of these children that are 5 to 10 year old, when they're in their 20s or 30s, they're going to start wanting to collect a lot of this stuff. So I think that's another reason why the hobby is continuously growing, is because there's just more and more collectors going into it, and the collectors that are currently in the hobby are getting older and they're getting wealthier. Your income only increases over time realistically, and this is going to grow the hobby in general. In fact, I think the Pokemon company came out with an app recently where kids can brush their teeth and catch Pokemons. It's such a cool concept. It's very new age, and they're doing all the right things to introduce the brand to the next generation. Pokemon is a very recognizable brand. It's a very strong brand, and I don't see any reason why the Pokemon company or the Pokemon brand would disappear in the next 10 to 15 years. It would take an astronomical change in their philosophy for Pokemon to really crash. So that is why I think Pokemon cards will continue to retain their value and even grow in the future. Final question that everyone likes to ask is, Jake, where do you buy your Pokemon cards, especially the ones from Japan? And where do you sell your Pokemon cards? Because that's part of a trading card game, is you gotta sell and trade. I collect cards. I'm much more a buyer. Like, I'm a 99% buyer and I'm a 1% seller. I almost never sell Pokemon cards. I usually hold Pokemon cards for a couple of years and I think, you know what? I don't really like that card, or I don't need it in my collection. And that's probably because I have another copy. If I have like a PSA 9 and a PSA 10 Pokemon card, then I'll probably just sell the PSA 9 and keep the 10. So those are examples. But where do I buy my cards? I don't have a secret. I buy cards from the exact same places where everyone does. And it's never been easier to find Pokemon cards to buy. The options are numerous. You can go pretty much everywhere from your local game store, your local retailers, all the way up to e-commerce. You can find them on eBay, you can find them on Amazon, and there's tons of different websites. There's not one that is better than the other. So I really do my research. If I, just like any responsible consumer should, if you find an item you like, look it up in 5 to 10 different websites and see which one has the best deal and go with that one. There's nothing wrong with that. In addition to that question is, people always ask, where do I buy my vintage Pokemon cards? And that's even more difficult because there's not an easy answer. There's not one place to find them. There isn't a vintage Pokemon card store. what you'll find is you got to go through a multiple different sources as well. I call up a lot of local game stores or different places and just ask them like, hey, do you have anything in stock? And sometimes they do, and sometimes I get better deals than what I can find online, but you really do have to hunt. That is part of the fun though. I enjoy that. You build a lot of connection. It's part of the chase. You can find some really obscure stuff that, you know, just random stores are currently having in stock. So you never know what you might find. Lots of places that I look for are definitely local game stores, eBay, Amazon, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, any place that people are selling stuff, any selling app, you'll find Pokemon cards. And you never know what you might find. You literally might find a mom somewhere that's selling her kids' Pokemon card collection and doesn't realize how much value there is in there. That happens all the time. Less so nowadays, but it does still happen. So you never know when you can score a good deal. Same thing with selling Pokemon cards. It's never been easier to sell Pokemon cards. Before, it was very difficult. I would say 10 years ago, it was extremely difficult to sell Pokemon cards, even the graded high-end stuff, because it wasn't really a legitimate hobby even then. A lot of people were very sketched out when purchasing expensive Pokemon cards because they just didn't believe in the value of the cards would increase over time. It's a very different story now. Pokemon has been very legitimized as a really strong hobby. But selling Pokemon cards, you can sell any Pokemon cards, I'll be honest. There's people buying bulk energy, bulk commons, bulk uncommons, trainer cards, and some of the places that I use to sell are all kinds of different selling apps. eBay, TCG Seller, I even sell on Amazon and all kinds of different websites. I don't sell very often, not anymore. In fact, I have almost no listings available right now. I'm mainly just collecting because I really don't have anything that I want to sell. But those options are available. It takes a couple of pictures in one app and you're good to go. So it's very easy to start buying and selling Pokemon cards. All right, everybody, that's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Is there any questions that you have on your mind that I did not answer? Feel free to leave it down in the comments and I'm more than happy to do my best to answer your questions. I'm always willing to help you guys out. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.